Hello, everybody. Happy Taco Tuesday. I am extremely tired. I will warn you that from the beginning. So if I sound silly, it's from sleep deprivation. I went with my sister and the kids to a Tampa Bay Rays game last night. We didn't get home till 1 a.m, so I didn't get much sleep. So I'll start off with that. And I'm really, really happy this guy beneath me is feeling better and joining us tonight. If you do not know him, definitely check out my good friend Scot, ChaChingKing. He has been on with us many times before in Caddy Corner. It is his first time on. Gil, Jim Flipper is with us, as well as my lovely co-host Rod, Picking and Punching. And we are going to let Scot and Gil introduce themselves, so I'm not going to forget again. And we have a lot of questions again, so I say it every show, but get your questions in early. Sometimes we get through them all, but sometimes we don't. So if you want to make sure it's answered, get it into the chat early. And here is Scot.
I'm Scot, also known as ChaChingKing on YouTube and Instagram. And for those of you that don't know, I have a second YouTube channel, ChaChingKing Picking, and it's just storage lockers, and it's brand new, so we're just getting started. And I'm not dead, so I was sick, but I'm here.
I'm not dead.
Sorry,
okay.
we're not laughing.
My name's Scot, and I'm not dead.
That should be enough.
Okay, here's Gil.
Hello, my name is Gil. I go by Gil, and it's a Gem Flipper on YouTube. I put videos out every day except Saturday. I'm also, I post sparingly on the other ones on TikTok and on Instagram as well. Instagram is Gem_Flipper, and I'm an eBay seller, primarily eBay seller.
Perfect. All right, so let's do this. We got a super chat at 10 o'clock this morning from Summer, which is amazing. Thank you. Summer sent a $5 super chat and said, "What is your favorite item to sell? Not necessarily the most profitable." And she said she loves selling hard to find plushies.
I thought about this because I was here on time, and so I had plenty of time to read the chat.
I feel attacked.
And,
he's trying to say something to me and Rod.
So I had time to think about it, and I think it's vintage fishing lures. They're hard to find, especially the ones that are worth $500, $600, $700. But when you're photographing them, they're like artwork. And I just enjoy the listing when it's done. So it's not definitely, I couldn't make a living doing it, but I really like it when I find some pretty ones because they're just fun to work with.
And so I love selling keyboards. If you follow the channel, I'm always picking up keyboards. I have a keyboard collection, keyboards and mice, I should say, because they kind of go hand in hand. And, I have all kinds. I have 3 that I actively use here. So keyboards are my number one favorite. Love finding them.
I need to talk to you.
So my favorite thing to sell is that item that I've never sold before, that I trust my gut at a garage sale or flea market and just take a chance on an item. So because I love learning brand new categories and brand new things. So those the most enjoyable ones for me is when I find something that I've never sold before. It could just be something random, but it's because the amount of education or the knowing that I know I trust my gut instinct to go through. So that's my favorite thing. As not one specific thing. I mean, I love selling vintage toys, and because it brings me back to my childhood or video games, sports cards. I mean, that's stuff I love selling, but it's those new items that I've never sold before that you just feel good. You're like, oh wow, that just opened up a whole new category for me. Or wow, I had no idea that this was here and I passed up 100 times. Now I trust my gut and go there. So those are my favorite things.
All right. I think mine is more genre or like collective, and that's the Native American items. I grabbed a couple because I have my collection on my desk, but like the little like fetishes, I think this one's listed at $150 or $200. It's just like they're so cool. They're hand carved, and then I have another one just so you guys could see a couple of them, but really, really neat pieces. I sold one last week for almost $200. They're tiny. I don't find them all the time, but I love those. I love kachinas. I just put a video out on those. And really, like any Native American stuff has got to be my favorites. All right. I'm going to do my octopus first. Thank you, Summer. I want to say, since I put the octopus, because Gino did make that octopus for me, and I don't want him to kick my butt for this, but just keep Gino in your thoughts, guys. That's all I'm going to say. He needs them, and I'm going to just leave it at that. But I know he hasn't even been watching the show, but yeah. Keep Gino in your thoughts for me, please. All right. Hey, I had that too. Said I sold an item through EIS. If you guys do not know, that is eBay International, that was damaged. It was clearly marked in the photos, title, and description, but the buyer left negative feedback in their language stating it had damage. Should I fight it? I was at 100% until this.
Yeah, I would absolutely fight it, because eBay said that things that sold through their international shipping program would not be subject to negative feedback. So
really,
that's the one. That was my understanding, that they handle all returns and everything. So I would 100% fight that.
Yeah, I would definitely fight that. I would definitely, I wouldn't go too far. I just had a negative feedback removed myself, and it was kind of maybe justified, kind of not justified. It was kind of like their opinion. And I went ahead and just put in the request to remove it. I didn't bother messaging the person or anything like that. And I just kind of worded it, I didn't word it in a way that was manipulative or anything like that, but I just kind of worded it just in a way to kind of show, because the person was asking for a battery basically for a watch. Even though in the description it said no battery included. And I just kind of said they were asking for a battery. They wanted me to send them a new battery, and then eBay just removed it for me. So, but that's just the extent I'll do. I won't go into anything, messaging the buyer, sending them a revision request or anything like that. And if it stays, it stays. If it doesn't, to me, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I would fight it. And, if you put in the description that the item was damaged, and that was in the description and the photos, then buyers shouldn't be leaving you negative feedback. Not to mention it was sent to the international shipping program, where eBay usually handles all those items, because once the item receives the eBay handles any other issues. So I would actually put a request in to actually have that removed, and then try to go through eBay to have it done if it's not.
Yeah, I probably would be like Gil. I'd submit the request, and if it got approved, it got approved. If it didn't, it didn't. I think it was last time Scott was on, we looked, and I have like 7 negative feedbacks. When you sell at volume, it's bound to happen. I did get my last one removed by the buyer. eBay refused to take it off. Me and the buyer worked it out. They revised it, changed it to positive. So I was able to do that. But yeah, I would definitely try and fight it. Look, I'm tired. I forgot we had other super chats. Drew sent a $4.99 super chat and said, "Have a great show." Oh man, okay, listen. And it's funny because the next super chat is from Elena. So I give Drew my Gator super chat all the time, and Elena came and videoed me at the spring swimming, because I am now down 70 pounds since this video was made that I'm going to play. And I need to make a new one. Maybe I could. Yvonne made this one, Yvonne Thrifty Rich. So I need to give her new footage now of me swimming. Cause it, like, watching it, I'm like, oh, cause I lost so much weight since it, but yeah, here you go. Dalton's so funny when he was in here. He's being a teenager lately. He's like laying in his bed all the time. He said, "Mom, you were swimming with a gator." He didn't realize that Yvonne just pieced that together. I do not get in the water if I see gators. Please do not think I'm going to die. I promise you I'm not. All right. Speaking of Elena, she said, "Thank you for I think she means for having this every week. Maybe she's tired too. But that is my good friend. If you guys don't follow her, she is one of my thrifting buddies. She does have a channel here on YouTube. And she was kind enough to come to the Springs with me earlier. I think, it was last week. It was last week, and give me some new footage. So hopefully I can get those for you guys soon. Elena likes kitty cats, so I'm going to give Elena a kitty cat. Meow, meow. We made that. So Scott, that super chat got made because every single guest had cats that kept walking in their desk in front of them on a show. Like the whole night, all we saw was cats on their screen. So we had to make a cat super chat. All right. 5 Acre Woods from Debbie. She said for Rod and myself, when you lower, which we can all answer this, when you lower prices of older listed items, do you lower it permanently or run a sale?
For me, it depends upon what we're calling older. Some of the older items, I'll lower them once or twice, but if they've been dead in the water for a long, long time, I'm going to get it to somebody who can sell it. But only if it's something I wouldn't pick up anymore. If it's something I wouldn't pick up anymore, then I just don't have the storage to hold it forever.
And so what I do, I typically with older items, I try to price right down middle of the road, try to get the average, not the highest, not necessarily the lowest. And what I'll do is I'll go back and I'll do a bulk edit, and I drop it. I don't drop it much. I drop it 1.23%. That's all I do. And then I'll sell similar. And usually that does seem to do the trick for a lot of stuff I find.
So for me, I usually run a sale on my order items. So depending how long it's listed on eBay is going to be how long or how much I'm going to discount those items. I usually don't discount anything that's under 30 days for a sale. Anything over that, I'll do like a 10%, 20%, 30% discount all the way up until after 90 days or 120 days plus. And that's just a temporary discount. But I do end and sell similar to my items as well. So when I do end and sell similar, I always lower the price of those items when I do put them back up. So I do a combination of both through there. And it's Rod with a D, not a V. So.
All right. I don't lower the prices. I should, but my store is so big. We have 8,100 items that like going through, looking them up, seeing if like I price correctly, if it's changed, it's just not feasible for me. And it's not something I would rather my employees be listing new items and looking through old ones to reprice them. But I do look at the offers that I get. So if I get a low offer on something that's been listed a long time, at that point, I will look at the comps and see if I priced wrong. I also send out offers. And if I've had it over a year, I send out a 50. I've been doing 55% just to get stuff gone. So I give them a big discount on it. And I also, I've intermittently been doing sales now. If you knew me back when, how long has it been? It's been over a year, hasn't it, Rod, since I quit like marking everything up? I feel like
starting anything super high. Yeah. It's been
about
a year.
So I used to price everything high and run a constant sale. And I always get mad at the antique malls when they're like 50% off. And I go in there and find out that they just marked it up double and it's really not 50% off. And I was like, I am doing the same thing that I hate people doing. So I quit doing that. But I will, and I'll hand select 2,000 items that are over a year old. And I put them at 40% off so I can still send them a 10 or 15% off offer, even when my sale's on. So when I do sales, I don't want it to be at my rock bottom. I want to still have room to send them an offer as well. I know Rod waits normally till the sale's over to send his offers.
Yep.
When he runs them, but I like to send them every day. I'm OCD about not having a checklist. So I always leave that sale a little bit of room so I can still send people offers as well.
So
yeah, another super chat.
I was gonna say, just to clarify what Kat's saying there is, when I run a sale, I don't send out any offers and items on sale because they're already being discounted 10, 20, 30%. But I get a ton of watchers. Once the sale ends, I'll send them a message, say, hey, I noticed you're watching this item. Here's your last chance. I'll just copy and paste this on all of them. I know that you're watching this item when it was on sale. Here's your last chance to get it. I add an extra 5% on it and send it. And that usually works. It gets me some extra purchases.
Yeah. Reselling with me, D, sent a $2 super chat and said, thanks for teaching me auctions. Love your channel. Tonight, I will tell you guys, I have a big death pile again. I did 2 big house clean outs a couple weeks ago, and we can't even fit everything in the sheds. It's in my barn. So I do not need to be buying till I process that stuff. And every Tuesday, my favorite auction is ending. And tonight was the first night I am not opening this auction. And I did not, so I'm proud of myself. It's still going on, but I'm not going to do it. So
I mean, to your defense, I mean, you do end up missing a ton of stuff anyway because we're doing the podcast.
Because I end up talking or getting on a soapbox, and then I forget I have auctions. And last week, so normally on that auction, I would say average low end when I'm being conservative buying, I spend like $800 to $1,000. I spent $85 last week. That's how much it's like I forgot like completely, and I just lost everything. I got outbid. But tonight I refrained. All right, what am I doing here? Let's do the whale. Thank you so much, Dee. All right. Just Me says, what is one thing you wish eBay would do to benefit resellers?
I told him this when I went to the thing in Vegas. I'm drawing a blank on the name. Everybody needs a nap. But on the mobile app, you need to be able to look at the feedback that buyers leave, and you can't access it on your phone. And because I check that before I ever take an offer, I check to make sure they're not insane. And I can't do it. Like I have to wait until I get home a lot of times to do that. So I want that.
I have to agree with that one. That's a nice one. I would like to be able to see that. But for me, I've had my own website selling items before outside of eBay and all the other platforms. And I've done Facebook ads, Google ads, and all that. And there's an incredible amount of control that you have over those ads and how to direct them. And I wish I had that same control in eBay, especially with their new priority ad system, the cost per click, which I think would be better if I had more control as to where to focus those ads.
So for me,
who did that?
That wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
Scott?
Maybe.
He's just trying to show off because your name's ChaChingKing.
Why he has his name? What'd you sell? Oh,
Nice.
So what Scott was really trying to say is he waits till he gets home till he's on a podcast to accept the offers. But he goes to sing on the podcast. I can read between the lines. I get it, buddy. I get it. All right. So for me, and I've been screaming at the top of my lungs for this, and I told the people in Vegas when I was there about this, is eBay is missing out on so much market share to Whatnot and all these other platforms. They have had eBay live now for over 2 years. And do you know how easy it would be for all of us to literally, we have thousands of items in our eBay store, to do one click, move my items from a static listing right over to a live show, and I can go live on eBay and just sell my items and move a ton of my inventory? I would absolutely love that. That's a huge benefit to sellers, because now eBay doesn't have that option to a lot of people. Now I have to go to Dibit, or I have to go to Whatnot. I have to go to Posh Live. I have to go all these other marketplaces that eBay could have did all this from day one under their own roof, and it's frustrating.
I wish eBay would run more commercials on different categories than shoes and auto parts, because there's a lot of other categories. I have heard them off and on. I heard some on the radio, so they are doing some, but I wish they would do more advertising.
But the radio is so antiquated. I mean, that's the whole problem with
listen
eBay.
to YouTube 90% of the time, honestly, when I'm listening to music. But TV or Hulu, Hulu, Netflix, they have commercials.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I think I saw them on Hulu last year. I think I saw some eBay ads on Hulu. But I wish they would do more, because eBay's audience is like, I feel like mostly like 30s, 40s and older. And I wish they would pull in like some of the younger crowd probably wouldn't like what I have anyways, but I think that would benefit a lot of other sellers. That's what I would like. Cause I mean, most of them now have the have the required payment, which was one of the biggest things last year.
Yes.
We would have said, right? So they have implemented that, but, and I like that the item stays available till they pay. I like that. So, I mean, they're making positive changes. I think advertising, to grab some different demographics, I think would be the biggest thing. Because some people kids don't even know what eBay is. They're like,
they're on TikTok Shop because once again, live selling, eBay is not doing it. They're going to TikTok and they go to TikTok Shop, and that was just growing tremendously. And now once YouTube integrate like some type of shopping, or they buy one of these platforms, that's what's going to happen next. And eBay's going to be left in the dust. This is why eBay's numbers have been dropping amount of members or sellers on there every single year for the last couple of years.
I just got two texts. One, that the A's and the Rays are tied again. They were tied last night into the 9th inning, and we lost. So we better friggin' win tonight. Dang it. And the other one saying somebody saw eBay commercial on Hulu last night.
Oh, nice.
Ask and you shall receive. Okay. So they are up. Wendy wants to know, what do you like to ship posters in that are unframed? Should I pick up some tubes? I would only get maybe 5 of them.
Yeah, I would. You can get tubes, but the last ones that I mailed out, I have some 24-inch boxes that are like 6x6. It's just a box, and I shipped them in that. I shipped a $200 poster in that, so that's what I shipped. And I put it now. What I do is, depending upon the value of your poster, if you get them, a $200 poster is one thing, but if you have a $2,000 poster, they might be expecting it to be shipped flat, and if it's $2,000 poster, you can
get one of these big ones.
Yeah, just like that. That'll work great. But I normally put it in there that'll be carefully rolled and shipped that way. I put it in my description.
If you're wondering, that's an Andy Warhol, by the way.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, tube. I definitely. I don't do too many posters, but the last few that I did sell months ago were in tubes. I was able to put them in the tubes from my bubble wrap, but I've also used. I've stacked 6x6x6 boxes together to also fit those as well too. But they have to be worth it because you're going to be using a few boxes, so it's got to be a poster that's worth it.
So I ship all my posters in tubes. Even like you guys used to see all those autograph posters behind me in the past. But when I would sell those, I take pictures of them framed, and then I just put in the listing that items are going to come shipped in a tube. It's so much easier to do that, and that's how I would do all mine. So
it's not tied anymore. We're losing again. I just pulled up the score.
I thought you got mad at my comment. You're like, now I was like, what did I say? Ship them in a tube. What do you want me to do, Kat? How else you want me to ship it? Come on.
I don't even know. I can't even think. I use tubes. I actually sold all my tubes to Marcia, our moderator, Red Cardinal Treasure, because Marcia, I think she got my poster. Did she get my posters? I sold all my posters bulk. Maybe Marcia didn't get them, but I sold her my tubes that I got because I don't have any unframed posters. So the only posters I have listed are in frames. So we're going to ship them in boxes. But when I was selling unframed posters, I definitely 100% the tubes. Okay, Karen said in a recent video, she's talking about on my other YouTube channel on Catch Treasure Hunting. I have 30 or 40 clips and they don't upload in order. And Rod told me how to fix it and I don't remember how. So maybe he'll tell me again. But so when we're recording, a lot of us record clips, especially thrifting, because GoPro batteries die really fast. So I don't turn my camera on unless I see something either that I'm going to tell you why I didn't pick it up or I'm going to pick up. And so I end up with all these like 30-second to a minute clips. And for whatever reason, when I upload them from my GoPro to my phone, they are not in order. So you'll see my cart full and I just got there. And I'm like, I am not taking the time to try and figure out what order these clips go in. And I just leave it. And I do a voiceover. So when we upload it to you, we have edited it and put those clips together into one video. When I do my talking head videos that you see on this channel, that is all one clip. And then I just cut out, like when I first started, I had a bunch of pauses and that's all cut out. I edit all that out now. I don't do as much of it because I've been doing this for a while, but I edit all of that out and do a transition so you guys don't have dead space in the video. That's just one chunk, so it's not out of order. But the thrifting videos from the GoPro are always out of order. Rod, how did you tell me to get them in the right order?
Well, when I transfer to my computer, you can right click.
And I don't see. I edit on my phone.
But you can actually organize your clips from date created. So if you do it from date created,
can I do that on my phone? Oh, you're iPhone, aren't you? I'm Android.
Yeah, you would have to try, but you can organize your clips from date created, and it automatically puts them all in order. So because I do the same thing, I turn my camera on and off to conserve battery. Also, I carry 5 batteries when I'm out and about. But like if I do a highway sale, I might be out for 8 to 10 hours picking. And I need to conserve as much as possible.
On the GoPro, really quick, I use Filmora sometimes. When I'm using my GoPro, I'll use Filmora to edit. And for some reason, they always appear in order there. But like everywhere else, it doesn't appear in order. I think it's something to do with GoPro. I don't have a problem with any of my other cameras except the GoPro.
Of course. Maybe I'll figure it out. All right. Kenneth wants to know, what is your biggest pet peeve about eBay?
I don't know that I really have one, honestly. Like, eBay does exactly what I want. I keep it in its box. It provides me and my family for, everything we need and most of everything we want. And like, it's pretty smooth. I don't know. I'll try and think of one, but I don't really have a chief complaint.
Scott, you running an office? What are you doing over here? You don't have one complaint?
Scott for president of eBay.
I really don't. I wish that. Here's a chief complaint. When you do have to talk to eBay about a problem, say with a customer, and let's say that customer created their account today, and they've got a problem before I even ship the item. And I've been on eBay since '99 and I have 100% feedback. Never had a negative stick on my account after 18,000 sales. I should get some deference when I'm dealing with somebody that has absolutely no history whatsoever. And they're dependent upon who you catch. There is no deference. They're just like, nope, you're just like the person who just joined. So does that count?
Yeah, I don't really have any. I'm gonna say I don't really have any necessarily pet peeves as far as the selling goes or anything like that. The listing. The only thing I like to see things complete, and when I see like on my phone those add specifics or add any additional things, I don't like seeing those. I wish I could just
like
X
fill
them out
in the recommended.
And get rid of them. Yes,
I have like 5,000.
I can't stand seeing it, and it bothers me every time I see it. But I just close my phone and I don't.
See, that was a legitimate pet peeve. That was good.
That's the only thing because I like things complete and done, but you can't do all those.
That's like me with offers. Like I have to send them. I can't not.
I mean, just like everyone else here, I love eBay. eBay has changed my life, but there's a lot of things that just really upset me with it. And I've said the first one is they're so antiquated. Everything they do, like the website is, the interface, they're always I feel like they're always a day late and a step behind. And that could be just because of how big they are. They do have over 130 million users when you're comparing it to like Whatnot that has, 3 million or 4 million users on there. So they can move a lot faster compared to where eBay's moving at a snail's pace with stuff. But I mean, the fact that it was 2024 where we, if buyer sends you an offer, they literally had to build their credit card when every other website was doing it. It's just that I always feel like they're just a step behind all the time. And that's frustrating because that's a big portion of my income. So it's a pet peeve for me because it keeps me in the edge of my seat, I guess, sometimes when it comes to, what we do on eBay. But I love eBay overall. So
Yeah, I don't have any major complaints. I think for me, it would just be like the disappearing items thing. That
Oh,
is
yeah.
this like mysterious glitch that none of us can figure out. Because I have like so many items, I can't. I mean, I could do an inventory. I don't want to do an inventory and find those missing items, and both disappearing and reappearing. Like when it's already
Oh,
sold and then it's backlisted again. Like we had two of those today, and I'm like, oh, like it's so frustrating. That would be my pet peeve for eBay.
yeah. I've sold Red Dead Redemption 4 times in the last year, and haven't had in stock all 4 times. Yes.
All right. Summertime Vintage said, how do you all succeed or try to keep a good work-life balance? I love reselling, and sometimes it's a struggle to stop working and make time for my family and myself.
That was literally part of my video today. The last section of my video talks about this very same thing, the work-life balance. So what Melody and I did is when we knew I was going to retire and we were going to use eBay would eventually become our primary income. As a superintendent, I worked 70 hours a week, every week, all year round, and there's just no time off. And I told Melody, I said, if we're going to do this, we have to build in some downtime. If I have to, I don't want to work 70 hours a week anymore. I don't mind working a 70-hour week, but it just can't be the rule. So we take 5-6 breaks a year where Melody and I will go somewhere for a couple of days. We take 2 breaks a year that are a week, and we have built it into our schedule that we're going to keep reselling in a box because the rest of our life is out of control. But reselling is going to be where we can manage it.
Yeah, and I know work-life balance is so tough when you're doing this on your own. And it's still employed, but my last job is at a hospital, and so there it's constant work. But since I decided to make eBay or put full-time time into eBay, really it's tough because I think about it all the time. If any downtime, I'm listing, but then eBay has always been, or reselling, I should say, has always been, the fun part of things for me. It's always been in the background for me before I decided to put full time into it. But as of this year, I really wanted to get, more serious about working out. I pretty much stopped going to the flea market every morning. I've been fortunate because they just opened a brand new bins location on our area, so I don't have to get up so early. So I work out in the morning and then do all my shipping right after that. Middle of the day, while everybody's at school and work, it's all reselling. It's either sourcing, listing, and then come 5 o'clock, usually my wife gets back home, and that's when we have dinner, relax, and everything. So you really just have to, set up your schedule around, because our schedule can be whatever it wants. So we kind of got to set it up around those that have a schedule, like my kids in school, my wife's work, and we have to dedicate time to them.
Yeah, so I think they both hit the nail on the head when it comes to this. Just like you have to make time every day to get your listings done, to get your shipping done, to get your sourcing done, you have to make time for your friends and family and your pets and everything else. It's a very hard thing for me to do because my passion has always been reselling. I love going treasure hunting. I love going out sourcing. I love doing that. That stuff is a lot of fun. But, that also can get you in a lot of trouble because you can buy too much and then you feel overwhelmed and you feel like you need to work and do all this extra stuff. So it's a snowball effect. So you literally have to be more disciplined with this. And for me is I don't want to go back to working a 9-to-5 job. So for me, I would either wake up earlier than my family and get a bunch of work done. I've done that. My wife works as a nurse, so her schedule would change all the time. So I would actually build my schedule around her schedule where, my wife has, when she's working the hospital and stuff like that, she literally is going to bed at like 8 o'clock at night. Well, sometimes I would hang out with her from, she gets off work to 8, 9 o'clock. And then when she goes to bed, I'll work from 9 to midnight because I have that luxury to do that, when it comes to my job. So I would say you have to work your schedule around your families if you're doing this. Also, too, you have to put in time. Like today, I literally put a window from 11 to 12 to take my stepson. He wants to start working out to the gym. So we did that this afternoon. And then from 4 to 6, I was going to the grocery store. I was taking my puppies for a walk. I was cooking dinner. And then I made sure to sit down and eat dinner with my family. So like I set times on that, but also too, one thing I do too is I overload my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. So I do all my lives. I do lives, I do my podcast filming. I do my video editing. I do live shows on Whatnot, on Dibit Cards. I schedule all that for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So that way I'm working maybe 10, 12, 15, 14-hour days those days. But then Thursday, Friday, the weekend, I can cut back a lot because I did everything. Instead of scheduling a live every night of the week, I do 2 lives in one day or something like that. So I overload those days so that, yes, those days kind of suck sometimes, but at the same point in time is it allows me to have the freedom my other days. So there's all kind of tricks you can do. You just have to figure out what works best for you and your family.
Yeah, so for me, I think most people know, like up until really like January this year, I was really bad about like working pretty hardcore 7 days a week. And it's hard with YouTube and eBay are both full-time jobs. And even with employees, it's still like overwhelming what I have to do. So for me, for the last 18 months, the gym has been a priority. My health is a priority. So that gets done regardless of what else is going on. And I added swimming. So now I don't get home till like 10:30. So I just work later. That's the nice thing about it. And then I try to take not the whole weekend off, but at least go do something with Dalton. Like this, we had horrible weather this past weekend. We both Saturday and Sunday, we were supposed to go do stuff and the weather just prevented us from doing it. So we just hung out around the house. But I've been trying almost to like have like a Monday through Friday, and I might work for an hour or two on Saturday and Sunday, but not like I do during the week. And that way, again, you just have to make it. And right now he's out of school. So really, I've been thinking about after I've already booked a boat for the next 2 weekends. So after the next 2 weekends, I might start trying to take him like a day during the week, because everywhere's slower. Like if I take him to a theme park or like if we go to the zoo, anything. And that's the benefit of what we do, right? I can take a Wednesday off if I want and go out on the boat on a Wednesday instead of a Saturday or Sunday. And then I could just work on Saturday or Sunday, because like it doesn't really matter that unless we have like, I have a lot of friends that work Monday through Friday, so then it's like, okay. But like scalloping with us is like someone I was a nurse with. So that's the nice thing about nurses. Like nurses work 3/12s. They have 4 days off. So chances of them being able to go during the week is good. But I think prioritizing, who said it? Like she said, and I'm kind of in the same, where did it go? Oh, Susan said, I'm a divorced single person with a full-time job. I spend evenings working on my side gig and selling online. Maybe I need to get a life. That's me minus the kids, but the kids are like a double relationship. But I think like in that situation, if you enjoy doing it, I say, why not? Like, if that's what you enjoy doing, like Rod saying he enjoys it. I love looking at auction. I love buying stuff. Like I am all about that. So I enjoy doing that. So yes, it's my full-time income, but it's still a hobby and something I like doing, but you really have to prioritize whether, like, again, for me, it's the gym and swimming. Like that's going to happen regardless.
I was going to say is a big thing for all of us here. We all mentioned, like, I know, Scott, you just had a medical thing go on. Everyone else here talked about the gym. I think that's a big thing in the reselling community, that we let ourselves, not to say we let ourselves go, but we prioritize our business. And because when you do work for yourself, you put so much time that you don't want to have to go back to that job, and you put all your time and effort into it, and you let things around you start to slip and and go. Like, you start working 12 hours a day, and like, I'll go to the gym next day, and then next thing you know, it's weeks before that happens. But what people don't realize is that your mental health and your physical health are so important. You would actually perform 10 times better with your reselling business if you guys kept on point with that stuff. And that's something I am fully guilty of that myself. I went from being a pro wrestler, being in really good shape, and now, I mean, I'm still in decent shape, but I'm not in the shape I want to be in. And I can tell, like, my mental and physically, I feel completely different. When I start going, like I went to the gym today, I felt 10 times better. And my reselling business was so much better because all that stress that you guys have goes away when you do work out and you have that physical activity. I think it's very important.
A great release of endorphins, guys. Yeah. Like, and anybody can do something at the gym, I guarantee you. If not, swimming is amazing.
Walking, just go walking around your neighborhood.
Activity. Yeah, like, and if you asked me 2 years ago if I would be saying that to you, I probably would have laughed at you. But I love the gym. I love the gym, and I love swimming too. So, it's important. Like, I don't like. I want to. I adult and late, right? I would like to be alive, for a while, preferably. All right. Laura said, I recently got a sterling silver turquoise cuff watch. It's a big thing. It's very heavy. How do I find out a value to place on it?
The first thing I do is make sure that it doesn't have markings on it. Some of the sterling silver and turquoise, a lot of that is Native American. If it is, it could have a mark in it. If it is marked, Kat probably has one right there.
Kat probably does.
Yeah.
This is not a watch, but I mean, this is a turquoise cuff. So
same thing.
Similar.
But if it's got a Native American mark,
looks like an owl. I need to add a keyword. Doesn't that look like an owl?
Yeah,
that sure does.
How did I not notice that till now? And this is a $2,000 cuff, by the way.
Is that mark? Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah. This one is a signed piece by Cadman. This one is a very. Brilliant. How did I not notice? I've got to go change. I'm going to change it while y'all are answering.
So the first thing you got to do is make sure it's not marked. Let's assume that it isn't marked at all. But then what you do is you just put in keywords and you try to find sold comps that are similar to what you had. And normally, if like just like when you look at Cats, that cuff is gorgeous. I'm going to price it high, like. And turn on best offer, and then I can find out if it's worth what I think. But if it's signed, that's a deal changer.
Yeah, and I have to agree with that one. Definitely, you want to check to see if it's signed. There's a value to the silver. There's a value to the stones, but then there's also a value in the name and whoever created it, especially if it's Native American. There are websites, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there is one that has a lot of markings and it has it's a good reference to it. It's a lot of information and it's hard to find stuff on there, but there are websites that'll help you find if it is signed, who signed it or who it belongs to.
I'm going to pick up the phone and call Kat, so I'll pass it to Kat.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to pull this up real quick. Cause I think that one is that it? That's not it. If this cuff is not, listed, there it is. That cuff that I showed you is a $2,000 cuff. $2,099 is what I have it priced at. I use WorthPoint. I don't Rod. Now I'm calling Mark Rod. Dear Lord, I'm really tired. Marcia, do you have my WorthPoint or my Linktree link for them? WorthPoint is amazing. So mine is signed. It's signed Cadman. I use WorthPoint. There's 10 years of history, and that is how I came up with it. And I will tell you though, I have had I'm just wondering, is it like a cuff that holds a watch, or is the watch like built into the cuff would be my question. Because if it's just like the watch pieces, those sometimes, unfortunately, if they're even Native American ones are not worth a lot. My last one sold for $50. So you have to be careful with those. But if it's thick and heavy like that one, those are typically even just the silver and turquoise on that is worth hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I think I paid over $600 for that one. But Yeah, the watch really does not matter. The watch is like a throwaway unless it's a sterling silver watch face. It's not valuable. Somebody asked stuff about mine, and I'm like, look, like I didn't check the watch. I'm really selling you the watch, man. Like, and that's how I answered it, and they ended up buying it. But a lot of the thinner ones are just not worth it. Thank you, Marsha. Put my link tree in. There should be a link to Worth Point in there somewheres. All right. Am I okay? I thought I was missing super chats. Forgive me again, guys. I'm running on 4 hours of sleep. I'm tired. Kelly, the Artful Journey. I remembered Kelly's name. The Artful Journey said, "Happy July. Is anyone going to eBay Open? And what one question or request would you ask of them to improve?" Kelly, earlier we answered this. Not if we're going to eBay Open, but we answered our like what we would want eBay to do. I guess we could say that again, but I got corrected and found out they're doing what I requested. So Scott, are you going to eBay Open? And we can just reiterate what we said.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to eBay Open. They actually, eBay asked me to go, but it just doesn't work this year. Melody and I are going to be going to Duluth in October, and I have so much going on. Plus, I wasn't sure if I would be feeling good enough to go to Vegas. So I'm not going this year. And they haven't fixed it since we talked last time. I still want to be able to see the feedback buyers on my phone.
I am not going to eBay Open because we do an end of summer Disneyland trip. So that takes priority. But to improve, I think I'd have to go with Rod's going live, being able to go live. I know they're keeping it very limited right now. I got an email a few weeks ago. We haven't forgot about you, and I sent that all my details. I think end of last year. So I would just like them to open it up more, and hopefully they can grow their business that way.
eBay. I've been on the waiting list for 2 years. I'm not going to your eBay Open until you allow me to sell live on eBay. All right. I have sold hundreds of thousands of dollars between Whatnot and Dibbed It on lives, over 6 figures. Let me sell on eBay. There.
Mine was that they get more commercials, and then like everybody said they have commercials, and I'm like, oh, I'm just apparently not watching the right things. So that was mine. I am not going either, but I love Vegas. I really do love Vegas. I believe eBay Open, though, unfortunately, is the first week of school, and being a single parent, I cannot leave during the first week of school. That is just not feasible. So what am I doing? I want to do Yvonne's mermaids. I'm feeling mermaidish. Here you go. Oh, mermans too. Yvonne always tells me because I forget there's a merman in there. All right. Todd is coming in with a $2 super chat to tell us that we are also organized. He just winged. Like I'm really not organized. Like that's a lie. That's a lie. I just like do as much as I can and hope that the important stuff gets done. All right. What have we not? Oh, we haven't done the eagle. Oh, we haven't. I can't do this with Scott on here. Okay, we're going to do the eagle. Okay.
Thank you.
It was not, you are not safe from the one you were thinking you were safe from, my friend. So let me just first say that. I was talking about the take a shot one that they wanted to make the 2 nights ever I drank on here last year. And then everybody thinks I'm drunk. I'm drinking water, by the way. Okay. I think that was all the super chats. Okay. Rolling with Stone says, has anyone been selling, wait a minute, seeing sales for very old offers? I haven't sent offers in months, but I'm getting recent sales from them.
No. No, I mean, I can't say that. We send offers every single day, so I don't think so.
Yeah, I haven't seen I guess maybe you mean these offers you've sent offers and they're still floating out there. I haven't seen anything like that. Maybe it's you have what is it, automatic for eBay to automatically send offers out, and maybe that's what it is. Otherwise, that's the only thing I can think of.
The only thing I can think of is someone accepted your offer and they weren't enrolled in the automatic payment, so that the item was still listed on eBay, and then they paid for it like weeks later or a month later. That's the only other thing that I can think of, but I have not had that happen.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is you can click to send offers to future watchers. That's been around for a little while. They just recently, and we talked about this last week, they just added the feature that you can determine the length you want them to send it, which I love. It's 7 days, 30, 60, 90, and a year. So like my stuff I send 50% off on, I know that's my max discount, and I set those to go out for a year. And then my stuff that's brand new and my stuff that's 3 months to a year, I set for 90 days, because I know after 90 days, I'm going to change the amount that I'm willing to give off. But that would be the only thing I could think of. All right. Decamper's Grapevine says, in an old book, I just discovered a land blueprint from 1947 of North Carolina. I can't find anything close to it. Any suggestions on where I can find the value?
So are you talking, when you say a land blueprint, are you talking about like the USGS topological survey maps?
That was a mouthful.
Well, my in-laws owned Temple Blueprint, and when I was working on my undergraduate, I managed the place for them, and we sold them. So if it's a topo map is what we called them, you should be able to find values for that. If it is a land blueprint, like a survey, that may not have as much value as you might hope, because a 1947 survey is actually, you could go down to the county clerk and probably run a copy of it. So it really truly depends upon what you're talking about. I've had a ton of experience with land maps and topo maps and that kind of stuff, but it just depends upon exactly what you've got.
And I don't really have an answer on how to find the value. I have sold over in California, Sacramento. I had a bunch of they were like maps with, where the different what do you call it, like property lines go for different parts of Sacramento. And I did sell that in a big collection for about $40, but I just kind of set it at $80 and opened up offers, and the first person that gave me a good offer, I took it. But it was a flea market buy, so I didn't really pay that much for it. So, but other than that, I really don't know how to find values like that.
Man, that's a great question. I don't really know. I would check like Worth Point or reach out to some other friends and stuff like that, us other resellers, or post it up in some groups on Facebook, some reselling groups. But yeah, just trying to get a lead to get point in the right direction. But that would be where I would go if I had no idea.
Yeah, for me, I would probably just put land blueprint North Carolina. I keep moving it and then he leaves. I would probably put land land blueprint North Carolina and search for that is what I would do. And then I would try and find one close to the year. With a lot of my ephemera stuff, I just price where I think it's worth. And that's what I haven't picked up a lot of ephemera in a long time, because the majority of it's under what I want for my average sales price. So I haven't been buying ephemera very often. Not very often. I haven't bought any in a long time. So that's what I would do. And I would use Worth Point because it has the 10 years of history. So typically I could find similar items at least on there. And yeah, that's what I would do.
Kat, I'm going to do my thing now if you don't mind. 1 second.
Oh, do you want to be big?
Yeah, make me big for a second.
Big. Rod, I didn't even tell you this. Yeah. I didn't even give you a spoiler. I knew this. Rod has a really, really special announcement he wants to make to you guys. So you're going to hear it here first. And I'm going to make Rod big so he can tell you guys.
All right. So something I've been working on for a very, very long time. So number one, guys, go to Dibit Cards, because we're going to have something huge coming up. I'm going to put a link in the description. We're giving this box away for free. This is a $100+ box. I put a link in the description. Dibit Cards. We're giving this away free. Once we hit 2,000 members, we're gonna just randomly pick someone to get this box. All right, Optic Football, one of the hottest things out there, retail. But the reason why we're doing this here is on July 16th, there is a special guest coming to Dibit and Dibit Cards, and he is a major entrepreneur. He has 10 million plus followers on Instagram, stuff like that. I'm teaming up with Gary V. Gary Vandercheck is coming to Dibit Cards, and we are doing a co-stream together. So we are going to be doing a V Friends break. He has his new cards for Topps, but please come hang out and support. It's a huge thing. If you guys don't know who he is one of the biggest entrepreneurs in the entire world. Featured in New York Times, like all over the place. 10 million plus followers. Go on YouTube. You can see he has millions and millions of followers. But yeah, I'll be with Gary. Me and Gary V are doing a stream together. So please, guys, go to Dibit Cards. Just join it. You guys can win this for free and come support us on July 16th at 4:45 or 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to do a live together. So yeah, it's something I've been working on. And me and Gary met together about a month ago. I've been working with this team and super excited for this. So a lot of hard work has paid off. So please come support it. But thank you.
And he can tell you again and remind you guys at the end as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yay. It's really awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Super awesome. And you heard it here first.
That's right.
All right. Amanda wants to know, how do you fight burnout and having the blah blahs when you want to say F it?
Literally, that's my video today. It says burnout. Like, go watch it. But we fought burnout by how we designed our business. So, like, life can burn us out because we've got a lot going on between our own health and our parents are older, and there's a lot going on with that. But honestly, eBay is like our safe place because it is set up. We have never listed 50 or 100 items a day. We list a handful, but we have, instead of focusing on super efficient listing processes for the last 6 years since we turned this into a business, Melody and I both have been studying how to raise our average sale price without spending more on our inventory. And we've done it. We started at, our average sale price was $15 and we probably spent $2 an item. And now we probably spend less than $2 an item and our average is $70. So we don't get burned out doing eBay. We get burned out running back and forth to the hospital with this parent or that parent and just trying to survive. But eBay is what we enjoy.
Yeah, and I have to so to fight burnout, really, and I am just like Scott said, I actually did a video on that not too long ago. But one of the biggest things is just having a good process for your reselling business. As far as the flow of the business, and I know you can't see it behind me, but in the garage, things come in from one direction. You know, when I bring it in from the car, I have my photo station and everything. Then everything goes up into a spare room that I use for storage. It's well organized over there. Garage not so organized, but up there it's well organized. So I'm able to pull items very easily. And I sell what I like. I sell items that I like. I don't pick up items I don't like. I may be passing up, profitable items, but if I don't like it, it's going to be a drag on me, and I'm not going to want to list it. I'm not going to want to, ship it out or anything like that. So I pretty much just stay away from those things. And reselling has always been fun for me, even when I was doing it part-time, for a couple of decades now. It's always been fun, and that's the way I want it to continue being, but ramp it up to make a full-time income with it, though.
So I actually had burnout last night, and I canceled my whatnot a half an hour before my show. I literally shut down my computer, and I said, F it, I'm going to go just do nothing. And I just needed a mental clarity last night just to walk away from the business, to walk away from everything, because I was going nonstop for weeks in a row, and I bought a massive collection over the weekend that's consumed my whole weekend, and I was just burned out and tired. And it happens sometimes. Even us that do this and love this, I love this with a passion. This eBay is my mistress. Don't tell my wife. All right, but it's my love. Like I love it so much that I could just do it nonstop and just do it. But every once in a while, when you're starting to feel burnout, you need to just stop and just walk away. And I went to bed early. woke up this morning refreshed, and I'm ready to go again. You know. Also, too, is what we do, especially if we're working from home, it gets real repetitive. And if you're not organized, if you have your stuff all over a different place, that can mentally beat you up and make things a lot worse. So for me, I bought this massive collection where I was trying to unload the car, putting stuff all over the place, and I walked in and like I just felt so overwhelmed because I was literally organized chaos. I was just surrounded by everything. So today I cleaned up a bunch of stuff. I got stuff organized, but then I'll take my laptop. I'll go to the coffee shop. I'll go work someplace else outside my home just to give my brain a break from the stuff around me. So you need to do these little tricks sometimes to just trick yourself. Even going to the park, listen to your phone. So leave your house or wherever you normally list, go somewhere else to just list. It will change. It's a game changer for you.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. Sometimes you just got to step away, like go do whatever you like. Like for me, I might go, like we like to drive down the dirt road, me and Dalton, and look for animals. Like we look for gators and deer and turtles, and it's about an hour drive, you know, roll the windows down, blare the radio. If he doesn't want to listen to my music, he puts his headphones on and we each listen to our own music to vibe and go riding down the road. Just step away, go. And honestly, for me, and I think for a lot of people, like the thrifting and buying part is the fun part. So like if you haven't been buying or something, go thrifting, go find stuff. Like the treasure hunt is like the funnest part to the majority of people. Some people are weird and like listing, but the majority of people, the fun part is finding stuff. So do something. You can't, because just like Rod was saying earlier, like if your mental health and physical health is not like up here, then you're not performing to the top that you could. So like if you're having blah blahs, you're probably performing blah blah, right? Because you don't want to be doing it. You're over it. Step away, take a break. eBay will be there in a day. eBay will be there in 3 days. Whatever you need, you can come back. Make sure you ship. That would be my only advice. Make sure you ship. But other than that, leave it. Leave it alone, you know, and it'll be there when you get back. We got 2 super chats. Marcia sent a super chat to initiate Gil. Those of you that watch the show enough know what that is. Gil, do you know what it is?
Okay. No, I don't.
Scott does. Okay. He's shaking his head already. And then Mark is here, so I know it's 9/11, because that's when Mark likes to come to work that he doesn't get paid for. So we are initiating Gil on Marcia's dime. Here we go.
Okay, I got it now.
You know.
Cool. I love it.
It's so funny. We're doing them
Lies.
back to back.
So many lies.
We have another super chat too. Wolfman came in with one as well. Mark is here. And Mark always gets Rod because Mark doesn't like me. So here's Rod.
Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time.
I didn't do it. I'm too tired to do it tonight.
We had a new member earlier. I don't know if you saw one at like 5:48.
It was like before we started, and like a lot of them joined from the videos, not from the show, so they're probably not here. So those I don't put up unless it was during the show. Super chats I do because I know they're coming to watch and get their question answered. All right, Wolfman's Goodies said, Scott, I met a locker buyout reseller that puts the bureaus in their brick and mortar store to sell those items. What do you do if you find bureaus in storage auctions? And he wants the mermaids. I got you the mermaids.
You want me to answer first or watch the mermaid?
Yeah, answer first because we just had a lot of super chat videos. So let's take a pause.
So here's what we've been doing. Because this last locker, I had a very short video on it, and there's no way I could show it all. But I would say we got 1,000 pieces of new tags clothing and probably 200 pairs of shoes that were all in the box. But there's probably another 1,000 pieces of clothing that are worn once, dry cleaned, and hung up. So what we do, whether it's Veros or other things, so far, we have been giving away all of our excess inventory. So I don't sell it. I'm not on Whatnot. I don't. But if it's not worth, right now we're trying not to list anything less than like $40, unless it's something we just really love. So a lot of this $15 and $20 stuff, I give it to new resellers, people that do the flea markets and that kind of stuff. And we are going to have so much stuff anyway that I don't have a brick and mortar. I've got friends with brick and mortars, like one of the lockers I had, my friend who has an antique shop and academy, and this is all big stuff. And I bring your truck up, load up, take everything you want. I feel like I've had enough given to me in my life that I'm never going to catch up with all the people that have helped me anyway. So right now we give it all away, and I still can't give it away fast. If one of you is in the Waco area and you want hundreds of pieces of gently worn men's clothing, hit me up. Send me a note on Instagram, and you can have it for my normal mystery box price, $0.
All right. What have I not done? Oh, I haven't done the original. Let's go old school here. This is the original super chat from probably 4, maybe even more than 4 years ago. So, and you can tell by the graphics. Here we go. Super chat. So if you've been watching a long time, but the reason we started getting all of the different super chats and Gino started making them was because people would yell at me because they got tired of hearing that dolphin sound over and over all night if I got a lot of super chats, and I would get like these really mean comments telling me they hated my dolphin. So that's how that's why we have all these different super chats now. It used to be just that one, and I didn't get a ton of complaints, but enough that I was paying attention. And so Gino heard the complaints too, and he started making them for me. And then Yvonne Thrifty Rich made the, oh, you wanted the mermaid. Oh my gosh, I'm tired. Hold on. Let me give you the mermaids. We'll be back. I told you I'm tired. So Yvonne made that one that you just saw, the mermaid one, and Yvonne Thrifty Rich also made the Kevin one. So she made me a couple as well, and we just have a collection of super chats now. I think we can all answer this, but I think Scott's probably perfect in the hot seat on this one. Donna says, at what point do you recommend getting an eBay store, and what are the benefits and negatives of both ways? I only have 180 items listed, but I'm thinking at 250, I don't have space.
Yeah, if you hit 400 and they're there consistently, the math just works out. But there's more to it than the math. I love being able to run a sale. And so for me, we have a store because I want to be able to run a sale. So if there are other perks that you're going to get, then it makes it worth it. I think ours is $60 a month, whatever I'm at. But I get a third of that back with the eBay coupon. So every quarter I get a coupon back for $50, and I can go in and buy some supplies and things like that. So, it is. Some people think you're going to get more sales or anything. I don't think people shop items, or for the most part, they're not shopping stores. Cards may be different though. But if you're looking for other benefits, then it might be worth spending a few bucks to have one. Some of the stores now are super cheap. The basic store is what, $5 a month or something like that.
$5.99 or $6.99, I think.
Something like that. And if it allow you to run sales, then that alone for me would be worth it.
Yeah, and I would say I'd pretty much concur with that. But like, if you start hitting that limit where you're going to have to start paying insertion fees, and you're committed to reselling on eBay, then definitely upgrade. Always be aware that every 30 days those items refresh, and those will count towards your towards the allotment that you get for free for your listings. I have my son started a shoe store, and I just told him, just get the basic subscription because I'm helping him with it. And I just said, I got to see, the view that I see. You got to be able to run the markdowns and everything, like you said, run the sales, and all those tools do really help. But if you want to take it seriously, I definitely think you should invest in a store, at least a very basic.
It's honestly, it's a simple math equation. All you have to do is you pay, I think, like 25 cents or 30 cents per listing over, the 250, and you just have to see how many listings it would be you would get charged that would equal your store. Scott, do you know the math at all on that one? What it is?
Well, in the last time I did it, it was a little bit different because they didn't have. What is the first one called? Is it a starter or is it a basic?
I think it's base, or maybe starter now.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That one didn't even exist at the time.
Yeah.
At the time that I ran the numbers for me, if you were doing 400 listings, by the time you paid that extra insertion fee for everything over 250, it just wasn't worth it. It made more sense to have a store, and we don't have nearly as many items anymore. As our average sale price went up, I've reduced the size of my store without trying to reduce our income. So, but a small store isn't. And here's the thing: it's not a lifetime commitment. If you get the store and you don't feel like there's value in it, you could always bounce. You could always quit.
All right.
Yeah.
I think I figured it out here. So the starter store is $4.95, and the basic store is $21.95. You get 250 free listings with the $4.95. After the 250, it's 30 cents per listing. So it's $17 difference. So you would have to do 56 more listings. If you're going to do 57 or more listings over the 250, so if you're going to be like over 307 or 308, then you're worth moving up to the basic store at that point. It would actually save you money.
Yeah, I think everybody's kind of covered it. I'm like Scott, I really would like to downsize my store. That's why I'm sending like such a high % off those older items to kind of get them out of there. And I really have been doing very well sourcing higher dollar. Our average is almost up to 50, which is what I wanted it to be. I would love to see it be higher, but 50 is an amazing average sales price. I think I'm happy with that. But I would really like to lessen so for me, it's kind of scary because like the $59.99 only goes up to 10,000 and I'm at 8,100. And I do not want to bump up to the next store level. And I know we're going to do like a whatnot with the license plate. So that'll pull a couple hundred, and I might start that. Okay. Everybody always asks us like, when do we get rid of stuff? That's going to be my point. Like if I'm close to 10,000 listings, I'm going to start looking at what is old and what has been here a long time and start pulling it out. Because I do not want to go over 10,000. I do not. All right. Becky wants to know, do each of us hire help? And if so, what profit? And this is totally separate. What profit percentage or dollar amount do you shoot for?
We don't hire anybody. We really keep eBay. We're only trying to do 5,000 to 10,000 a month, and normally we hit that 5,000 or 6,000, and we're not working full time to do that. So I hire my son's best friend when he needs money. So I don't know that counts. Like he'll come take pictures for us, and I pay him however much he needed. So it's probably a terrible deal for me.
I don't, it's just me. Maybe my kids help me out from time to time. Otherwise it's just me. I don't hire any help. And then that's the second part, as far as profit percentage or dollar amount you shoot for, I don't really like, if I'm paying $5 for an item, I would like to get about $20 for the item. But then again, that can all change if the item's been sitting for too long. So, that's kind of where I look at it. If I'm spending $5, I want to make at least 20, and obviously scale it up from there.
So the only thing I outsource is my clothing to my mother-in-law, and she does it whenever she has free time to do it. So she just creates drafts for me. So 95% of everything I'm doing is myself, and it's difficult now, I would say, because I have multiple YouTube channels and selling live on multiple platforms and running business. It's a lot. So yeah, I need to start outsourcing more. To be honest with you, I just got to figure out that process out. When I do hire, if I do give her stuff to list, because I do pay her hourly to do that, I make sure they're higher dollar items though. and items I don't want to take photos of. So I'm not going to give her like a $10 shirt. I might give her something that's $30 or higher and then do that, because I have to factor in the fact that I'm paying her money. I'm also paying to purchase the item, and I'm also paying eBay fees, and also paying, I have to go through and prep those listings as well in my time to just make sure everything is correct in those listings and to price the item. So I would say just make sure that it's not so much a profit percentage, it's so much I create a bottom line of what I want, and then anything over that I just give to her.
So I have 3 pretty much full-time employees. And I will tell you that if they are on your payroll, and in most states, somebody helping a reseller legally should be on the payroll. They should not be an independent contractor. So be very, very careful with 1099ing people, unless you happen to have cash income where you could hide it and you want to pay them cash. I cannot hide any of my income, so I do not want to hide any of my expenses. I want every single penny I can get. And so I have 3 full-time. My daughter helps with social media. She helps me around the house. She sends out the newsletter that you guys get. That is Brooke. That is not me writing the newsletter. She kind of took that off my plate. Prissy does all of the listing and shipping for me. Well, the listing and shipping of eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Etsy. And then Shannon does all the live selling, and she's now packing the live selling. So me, what do? I record my YouTube videos. I edit my YouTube videos. I price everything. So anything that goes up on the platforms, I am pricing. So nobody prices but me. I just don't trust anyone but myself to price. I don't know that I ever will, because I do so much different stuff. I could see trusting somebody to price if you're doing jeans and t-shirts that are branded, that are mainstream, that they're going to be able to find comps fairly easy on. But when I've got a carved Zuni fetish animal that they range in price from $20 to $2,000, I'm not going to trust somebody else to price that. That's going to be me. And yeah. I don't know if Marsha has the link. It's in my link tree. She can drop that again. I know she dropped that earlier as far as my newsletter. But so beware though, and I always say this, you need to be very careful when you hire people, because if they are on payroll and you are doing it legally, somebody you pay, I'm just going to say $10, which is under minimum wage. And here in Florida, don't do that. That's illegal. But you're paying about double, because you have to match their FICA. You have to match their Social Security taxes. So a $10 employee really costs you $20 an hour. So be very careful with that. You pretty much want to double it if you're doing it that way. And I know in Florida, if they are using anything of mine, if they're using my phone to take the cameras, if they're coming to my house and taking photos here, it is illegal for me to 1099 them. They have to be on my payroll. And just be careful. And like if we have a bad sales week, my employees are getting paid. I'm not, like you can't not pay your employees. So there are times when I don't get paid, and it is what it is, so just be careful and be sure that you're ready to take on the responsibility of an employee. Plus, if they're full-time, you now have somebody depending on you to pay their bills. And that's it's a scary thing. My daughter is kind of because she lives under my roof and that's whatever. But I have 2 others that have families that depend on income from me to pay their bills. And that can be scary. Not to discourage if you're ready and you're at that point. I'm just saying, take a very hard look at your financials before you do that. I don't think a lot of people realize what a responsibility it is.
I think the safe thing to say is if you're going to hire someone to work with you, talk to your accountant first and see what the proper steps to go through in that process. That would be the best step, just to protect yourself, protect the employee, and make sure
And like my accountant does my payroll. It's like $90 a month, and I can have up to 6 employees for that $90. And so they cut my checks. I do direct deposit. I just send them the hours every week, and they do everything else. I would recommend doing that if you do it, or getting some kind of payroll company. I wouldn't try and do that and do FICA and Medicaid. Like, no way. I wouldn't do that. Pay somebody a small fee and have them do your payroll for you. If you don't want to match the FICA and all that, you can do like, there are temp agencies that will like, they'll hire your employee and they'll pay all the FICA, but like instead of $10, you would pay them $15 and just pay them and not have to worry about payroll, and they would do everything. So there's that option. As far as percentage or dollar amount, I tell everybody, and I think a lot of you are really surprised when it comes down to it, that you lose a lot to eBay fees. And the sales total you see is not just your sale, it's also your shipping. So if you're doing shipping on top, that total sales value is going to be up here, and then you're going to be down here. I figure about 50% after of whatever it's sold for. So if I buy something at 10%, I'm making 40. If I buy something at 20, I'm making 30. So the higher I go up there, the less money that I'm making. I had somebody comment the other day, and Rod, I would like to know your opinion on this. They said that most card buyers will pay 80% of retail. Is that true?
So when you're, yes and no. So in the card market, if you have something that's very liquid, like a Shohei Ohtani, a Aaron Judge, like these top rookie stuff like that, Jaden Daniels, card dealers, because you have to remember, they're not always selling online. So when they go in person to these card shows, they're willing to pay 80% of comps, because a lot of those guys are what they call repackers, which they'll put it in like a mystery pack that you can buy. So they're going to make their money. So they're getting the top, and there's even some people, card buyers, that will pay 90 to 95% if it's like the big hits, like a Kaboom or a Downtown, because they're the most sought after inserts in the thing. But the card market is completely different than regular reselling, where you're trying to buy at 10, 20, 30%. Is very common in the card market. 70% is pretty much average. It's the average buy cost, because cards are so liquid and they can.
But if you did that and sold it on eBay, you wouldn't be making crap.
So a lot of card
unless
dealers,
it's $1,000 card.
But they're doing volume. So like they're making smaller margins, but you have to remember, what is it, when we were in this perfectly, eBay said their number one selling marketplace was cards. So like you have cards that, when they're doing almost $1 billion a quarter, selling cards, it's a different type of monster. So yes, I agree with you. It's not the business model for everyone, but people, when I buy cards, it's completely different when I buy stuff at flea markets or to sell my channel.
Yeah, this person had like vintage teas and stuff, and they were wanting to sell it bulk. And like for me, especially on a bulk buy, if I am not hand picking, I am not paying over 20%, period, end of story. Like I'm not, because some of that's going to be crap. Whether they think it, you can think everything's good. None of us are perfect. None of us source perfect. There's going to be crap if you sell all your inventory. I guarantee it.
So if you go to like video game markets, no one that the percentages are all messed up, because like even GameStop's giving around 30 to 35%. If you go to a mom and pop shop, they're going to give anywhere from 40 to 60 sometimes. But if they have like Pokemon games, they have like other stuff, they'll pay. I've seen shops pay 70, 80% before for that stuff, because it's liquid, it's gold. They put it on the shelf and it will be sold, within or they put it on Amazon and they can flip it right away. So, it just depends also where you're selling the items. That's a big thing, because Amazon video game buyers will go to video game stores and pay full price or full eBay comps, source off eBay, but they're flipping it on Amazon because they're doing FBA, where they can get an extra $5, $10, $15 per game, but they're doing volume. So because they're doing smaller, selling percentages, but they're doing so much volume, it doesn't matter. So a completely different type of market.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. So for me, I try and buy at 10%. But like that, I just told you guys that $2,000 cuff, I paid $600. Why? Because if it sells for $2,000, I'm bringing home $1,000. Well, just $1,000's high. That it's not going to be that much. But even at $1,000, I'm still making $400, and that's a good profit. So for me, typically the higher the value of the item, the higher percent I'm willing to pay because the dollar amount is going to be more. And I think that's when you kind of level up. And it took me a long time to be able to buy stuff like that. Forever, I was just buying dollar box lots. You know, you have to build it up, build your business, and then it's nice. You can buy some of those higher dollar, but I still do lower dollar. You know, I like that stuff. And I think for me, it's nice to have a mix of low and high dollar. Yeah, if I get a $2,000 sale, I'm going to be happy. It's going to skew my darn graph for a month, which drives me nuts. But other than that, it's, you know, it's a nice day. All right. Drew sent another cats fighting sleep. I am. I don't know how I'm awake, but I'm awake. I'm awake. I don't want to play my gator again. You're getting the eagle. I have to get a new gator super chat. All right, here's the eagle. Did I play the eagle already? I didn't. Did I? No, not tonight. You guys aren't answering me.
Ed, are you having a whole conversation with yourself right now?
We're just watching.
What is happening right now? Did you just have a whole conversation?
Oh my God.
You answered you asked the question. You answered your own question. Then you contradict yourself. You're like, did I do that?
Leave me alone. My eyes are watering. I'm so tired. Okay, I'm giving him the eagle. Like, here we go.
I'm glad to see Cat talked Cat into doing it. Good job.
I'm still on point. I can click stuff, I promise. Todd sent a $2 super chat and said he wants to know, Scott, are you in the Waco area? He is too. He would like to meet.
Yeah, no, I'm in the Waco area, and we've talked with several other people, like on Instagram, that we need to meet up in Waco, but just nobody's ever done it. So, but yeah, I'm down. Like, just bring a truck and I'll fill it up, and that could be the meetup.
The meetup. Scott will load your car. You can all get a little bit of inventory. That's the what's it called? What are the bags called? Like that you get at party.
IKEA bag or gift bags?
No.
Party gifts?
No, they're party favors.
Party favors.
Scott will give you all party favors. Did I give him? I didn't give him anything yet, did I? Oh my
You
gosh.
did not.
It's gonna get worse. Like I got 20. Scott.
Good thing we had 25 minutes ago, Cat.
Good thing I'm doing the pillow fight. I haven't done that one in a while. Here you go.
I was waiting for you to say I haven't done the eagle in a while and put the eagle back up again.
You guys need to leave me. Oh my God. This is like the worst night to have Scott on because Scott will mess with me. I'm going to tell Melody.
Innocent. I'm like innocent.
Scott's actually been the best behaved he's ever been on this show. So
He has been
my
pretty
energy
good
level's
tonight.
not normal yet. Just wait.
I know there haven't been all those like side remarks lately. Okay, let me breathe. Ed said, does paying for a promoted listing fee actually help with your sales with eBay? And if so, what is the percent you pay?
I personally think it's not worth it. I tried 2% for a long time. Kat tried to talk me into doing like 20%. I did a video where I listed several items at 100%. If you're interested in what happens. So I do think it can bring sales because I took items that were at least like 3 years old and I did 10 items at 100% promoted listing and 3 of them sold. 3 of them sold and nobody had looked at them in forever. So colossal failure.
Scott likes to give stuff away for free.
Yeah, it was worse than that because when you pay the promoted listing fee, they charge you the final value fees first. And then, so like you still pay the promoted, you still pay the final value fees, then 100% of it, then shipping. But I did it just to see what would happen.
Wow.
But 3 items out of 10 sold that had sat forever. So does it help? Yes, but I don't think it's enough to offset the percentage for me, and anybody that's sitting above me on the screen that thinks differently is wrong.
So I definitely think promoted listings help. I cap it at 9%. As far as the standard promoting, I cap it at 9%. Depends what kind of category I put it in, what type of items I have. I just listed a bunch of computer graphics cards, and those, have a good, healthy market. And so depending upon what year they came out, they're more modern, I won't promote them at all. If they're older ones, generally I'll stick to right around the base, 2% on those. I also do priority ads as well too. You got to be careful because that's cost per click, but it definitely gets a lot of views. You get a lot of impressions, which hopefully should translate to sales, but you got to be cautious because those clicks, they click off really, really fast. If you think eBay's, slow or dead, once you have those priority ads, you'll see those clicks on all your items, they just go very, very quickly. I do offsite ads as well too, and I do get some sales from there. I did discover a way to kind of manage that a little bit, have a little more control over offsite ads, and it comes from eBay themselves. Is the so what Google wants in offsite ads, they want to be able to show the buyer not just the item, but the price that it's going to cost them with the shipping. And if you have calculated shipping, they don't like it, and it won't give them a proper, total price. So I kind of manage that with flat rate shipping. So a lot of my items that have a flat rate shipping, I have those they go out to offsite ads. I mean, you can't really control which ones go to offsite ads or not, but that's kind of my way to control it after I found that out. And I only found that out because my offsite ads went from doing amazing to almost nothing last year. And talking through multiple people, I eventually found that out.
I think it does help promote. It does help with your sales because if people are searching a certain category, it pushes your item to the top of the list. I don't really promote my items more than 2 or 3% because I try to price the majority of my items very competitively with the market. So I try to, with recent comps, try to be right around where recent comps are. But make sure you have good photos, make sure you have good titles, make sure you have good, pricing. You don't technically have to do that, but it's just an added bonus. And if you make your money to buy, not to sell, if you're buying the right price, you can afford to promote your items at 2% or even 9%. It doesn't really matter because you buy it at the right price.
Or you could promote them at 15%, which is what
you're buying the right price.
Our sales were really down about 2 months ago, and when I mean down, like $8,000 in a month for me is horrible. We're at 17,000 now. I've been promoting at 10% for years. So for me to bump up 5% and I've doubled, I have 17,000 in sales now. I am okay with that. So my eBay fees end up around 25% when they used to be 20%. And that's Posh's fee as well. So I'm okay with that because I typically buy at 10% and I have the room to do that. If you're not sourcing low, you got to be really careful because that promoted is going to kick you in the behind. I stopped giving the shipping discount to the buyer. So I have that little bit of wiggle room, and that kind of covers at least some of the promoted fee and the eBay fee for the shipping charge because you are paying it on the total sale. But yeah, so I promote high. I don't hide that. I've thought about dropping it back down to 14. If I want to give everybody a word of advice, do not go and promote it 10% for a month and then turn it off. eBay will slap your hand so hard it's not funny. They do not like that. So if you decide to go to 10%, you need to slowly go 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Do not. I cut it in half, and boy, did I feel it. Do not do that. They do not like when you take their money away very suddenly. Do not do it. All right, Karen with E. said she is adding draft of 29 items to get started finally. She'll release 5 to start, and then her plan is to do 2 a day. She may not be able to do anything some days because she has really bad asthma. So how many in drafts would you recognize, or what for you is a good amount of drafts to have if you're wanting to list daily, but you might not be able to physically list every day?
This is a really good question because it harkens to whether or not it actually makes a difference to list every day when it's the same number of items. And I got to tell you that if I have them ready, I list them, because listing every day is good. But if I have 29 items listed on a Monday, instead of me spreading it out over 2 weeks, a lot of times my items sell when I get them listed. So I'm not a draft and wait and slowly release them kind of guy. We list them when we get them ready.
Now, hold on. With that being said, Scott, do you see it ebb and flow with your sales then because of that? The days, like, for example, like you maybe don't list for a couple of days, do you see your sales really plummet those days? Or do you how does it really work sales-wise for you?
No, if you take a week off, yes. But a day or two, I've not seen any difference. Now, keep in mind, I'm running a much smaller volume than, say, Kat or you. And I don't know about Gil. I don't know how much you're selling, but, we sell a handful of items a day. And like today, I've done $200. I've sold 2 items, but that's all I'm trying to do. So consistency is absolutely important, but I don't know that it's a killer to take. If I have 29 ready, I'm going to list them all, and then I'll try and throw up another one some other time during the week or something. That's what I would do.
Now, I'm definitely in the camp of listing every single day. Not that it really, I've definitely had those days where I haven't listed anything and never saw any change in sales. My goal right now is to get about 16 up a day. Unfortunately, I don't have a draft bank. I used to, but I was pretty sick in January, so it just went all the way down, and I would like to build it back up. And on the note of asthma, I suffer from asthma, COPD as well too, and it whenever you get sick, it's rough. But as far as drafting goes, I got to get it back myself. I got to get back into it. I feel it just helps keep me consistent with listing, and I definitely feel listing every day is a good thing to do. But if you fall off every couple days, 2-3 days, it should be fine. But like Scott said, you don't want to go like a week or something like that. You want to have constant activity there.
Yeah, so I've done both. I was in the mindset of Scott where I think a digital death pile was bad at one point in time, because if I put all the work in, why wait a week to get it listed? If I had buyers, I used to just list. There's days I would list 50 items, and then the next day I would list 1 or 2. Because I was on a roll. I just get it up there. Now I got to the point where I think you should have a small bank, but I'm not saying like I know people like Kat, you probably have a couple hundred items in your thing because you have employees doing that.
I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, I know, which is a little bit different. But like for me, but for me, I would say I would like to have at least a week or maybe somewhere in that ballpark, just because of just like something happens, you get sick for a week, or you have a family emergency, you have something like. Usually those things don't go longer than like a week or so when that stuff happens, unless it's different situation. So at least that covers you. So when I was doing my listings at one point in time, if I was trying to get 5 up that day, I would do 5 and put 5 away. And then next day do 5 and put 5 away. Then when I would get to a certain point, I wouldn't do any drafts. I would work on other things in my business, maybe reorganize or something else, but I would get those listings up. So I use my draft bank to help other aspects of my business. If it was working on videos, editing, if it was organizing, if it was going to go sourcing or go do a big buy or something that I normally do during the week that I don't do. So I always like to have something because of other stuff with the business always comes up.
There's a very loud cricket in my shed. I don't know if you can hear it. It's like right by my desk. Hold on, I'll look. I believe I have 288 drafts in my bank right now. but I list 30 to 50 a day. And my expectation for my employee is 40 a day. So like Tuesdays today, most of the day I'm recording videos. I do all my videos for the week on Tuesdays. And so I'm not listing. So she gets ahead of me. I will tell you, I know Trish from List Perfectly, she likes to have a minimum of 300 because, well, I mean, she's a big store like me, you know, we've got thousands and thousands of items. And so like earlier, maybe it was last year, Prissy had issues. She's never been out, but she was in the hospital a week. I was caught up at that point. So I had no drafts sitting there. So no, it doesn't happen often. No, we don't expect it. But like all of us said, like all of us have been sick this year and been out ourselves. It happens, you know, you don't expect that. But like I told her, if she goes out for a week again, then that's 200 drafts that are not getting done and that I am putting up. So like right now, if she went out a week, I would still be good. I have 288 sitting in there. If I listed 40 every day, I'd still have leftovers when she came back in a week. She's like me. She's a workaholic. So I'm lucky. Most of my employees are exactly like I am. We worked through the hurricanes with generators and no AC, and we're still functioning. She got married and only took 2 days off. She's a lot like I am, which I appreciate because that's just me. And she had been doing other stuff because she felt bad. She was so far ahead of me, and we talked, and I'm like, no, I want you to be really far ahead of me. You know, because if something happens to you, I need those listings to go up. That cricket is driving me bonkers. Can you hear it?
Everybody raise your hand if you don't think there's a cricket and Cat's just losing it.
I thought Cats was losing it. I was thinking the same exact thing.
I don't hear it.
Okay, I've got 10 more minutes. I'm going to make it. 10 minutes. Okay, Sarah sells smalls by the seashore. Said, Scott, we are so glad. Scott, thank you for getting me all these super chats. Scott, we are so glad you're feeling better. Thank you to Scott and Melody. Oh, for the mystery box. Sarah got a mystery box from Scott, and she said she loved it. Sarah, I'll give Sarah the beach. We haven't done the beach tonight either. Here you go.
The box that I sent them, we opened a locker, and it was in Waco, so it was really close. There were 300 pieces of new tagged Lululemon with the receipts, and there was 40 pairs of Uggs. There was 80 Stanley mugs. There was a Star Wars Lego set that was almost 3,500 pieces, and there were dishes. And so I gave away 3 mystery boxes. Well, I was going to give away 1, and then I had my son pick the names because he doesn't care. Like, he doesn't care about any of this. And he picked 3, and I was like, okay, well, we'll send him 3. He picked Sarah sells smalls because he liked the name.
By the seashore.
Yeah.
She's not by the seashore.
Yeah. But
I just add that.
Yeah. So I still have, I've got too much stuff now to do a mystery box. I need to do a mystery truck. And
party favors at Scott's house. Okay. Mary, hi friend. Mary said, thank you for taking the time to teach us to become prosperous. You are very, very welcome. I have played almost, thank you guys for all the super chats tonight. By the way, I played almost all the super chats. I really do appreciate you guys. Here, we'll do the little cute Dalton one when he was little. He's still cute, but he's not little anymore.
I got it.
Brooke still had braces on in that too. Brooke was, I mean, she's not little, but Brooke had her braces on still in that. That's an old video. I need to get more videos of the kids too, some newer ones. All right. Let's see. Sandy says, I got a negative feedback for a new with tags purse. I offered a refund twice with no response. Purse was in perfect condition. I'm gonna take this in hopes of getting to a few more questions. eBay, if they're not saying anything derogatory and it's their opinion, eBay is not going to take it down, and it sucks. They've gotten way more strict about what they'll take down. It doesn't matter if you offered to refund it. It's their opinion. Now, if they said like the purse was crappy or something and you can prove that the pictures are good, then they will take it down. But if their opinion is that it sucks, then guess what? It stays. Unless anybody wants to add anything.
I don't know. I fight every single one of them. And it's probably not a good use of my time, but I would
fight it with the form or fight it by contacting eBay.
You contact eBay on Facebook. The Facebook, the eBay that's on Facebook, you message them there. And I would tell them, look, I've tried to resolve this with them. I've offered them a refund. They're not responding. And I don't know. I think
I don't. But that's why Scott has 0 and I have like 7.
And again, here's the thing, though. I still think Kat probably is technically right because that your time is worth something. For me, it's just that, golly, if I ever have a negative on, like, you can go through my feedback. I have like almost, I think I have like 6,600 or something. I don't have a single negative ever.
Oh my gosh, ever? Don't go through mine ever. I don't want to know that number.
I just hope that I earn it, because I've made mistakes. So I've earned some. Somebody should have left me a negative, and they were just nice people.
I'll do it.
Don't you do that, I'm going to send you a $50 offer on your cuff bracelet.
Currently buying something from Scott's store right now.
I sell a lot of purses, and purses are like, the people that buy them are very, very meticulous. And, I had one got sent back. It looked literally green to me. I'm not colorblind or anything, but it looked green to me, and they sent it back. They said, this is not green. And I got it, and I'm like, it looks dead on green. And,
green.
I have so many people that they just ask so many questions about every purse I have listed. And, unfortunately, it's something I've noticed in selling purses. It's the people that buy them are just very, very, they go over every single detail.
Happens.
Okay. Teresa says, Rod and Kat, I just want to put this up here. So this is just a statement. Like, we're here to help you guys. That is why we are here. That's why we do this. But so Teresa asked us a couple weeks ago about taking better photos. Her photos were blurry. And Rod and I both gave her different advices. I can talk. I told her to check the pixels because I thought maybe she was saving them at a lower resolution. And Rod was saying the cleaning and not standing so close. Anyways, it fixed it. So I'm happy that happened. I just wanted to put that up there. All right. Mr. C's Travel said, I sold a nice statuette on eBay, 7x8x6. I wrapped it several times, really packed well in a box. It arrived today and was broken. Any advice on packing?
When I ship things that are breakable, especially at that size, that 7x8x6, I if it's breakable, I double box that thing. If it was very valuable at all, I double box it.
So, oh man, that's messed up that it broke. So I sell a lot in many different categories, including glass and pottery and everything. And when it comes to glass, I just sent out to TGI Friday margarita glass, and it has a really big, big top part to it. But making sure that there's at least a 1 inch, you probably want about 2 inches all the way around your box. I don't double box, but I order all my boxes from Uline. They have a certain gauge as far as the quality of the boxes. And then I use packaging paper, wrap it usually twice in bubble wrap. You could do more, but I've been doing it for quite some time. So I usually wrap it twice in bubble wrap. I pack it really well with packaging paper on the bottom of the box, and then make sure to put plenty of that extra inch to 2 inches around all the sides. You pack it in with packaging paper, and then make sure you fill in the top with that. And it's been going good for me so far. Well, knock on wood, of course. So, haven't had any broken lately.
So I used to get bobbleheads produced in China and get shipped over, and they would do something called a drop test. So you want to make sure that if you can pick up I think it's 3 foot or 6 foot, you hold your box up 3 foot and drop it straight down. If it could withstand that type of punishment, you're good to go. So that's a good rule of thumb for items. So just remember that if you're picking up your box and dropped it, will it break? If you think the answer is yes, then you need to pack it better, or more bubble wrap, more padding inside. But if you have something super valuable and it's super fragile, just take it to UPS and pay them the extra money to have them wrap it for you and ship it. And if something happens, they're responsible for it. So that's one option you can do as well.
I brought something for show and tell. So I got to return. Okay. Okay. So I had an expensive item that broke, and I told them, this was my negative feedback I resolved too, by the way. I told her to send it back. I did not expect her, but I wanted, let me show you.
How did it break?
I don't know. Look, so the bottom is fine, and it's really actually a nice piece that the bottom itself is worth money. The top is what broke. That's why I asked her to send it back. But she actually sent the broke part back, and my employee who packed it where it ended up broken said, "Kat, do you want me to put that back together?" I'm like, I don't know. So check this out. The top is back together, but you can see here where it broke, it chipped. But now that we are masters at fixing things here, because we get broken stuff from auctions all the time, and I will, like, this is $150 piece. So now I'm happy the lady, I didn't expect her to send back the broke part, honestly. But she did. And the only thing you can really notice is that tiny chip right there. So I think this is fine. I'm going to list it. I'll put that we've repaired it, maybe get 100 instead of 150, because it is a more rare piece. But that I did all of that to tell you that was packed with 5 inches of bubble wrap around it. Joel loves me at American Bubble Boy. I way overuse bubble wrap. Anybody that's bought anything from me knows that. And so I teach my employees the same. And the lady even said, she said, "I don't know how this broke with so much bubble wrap." I don't either. Box was not damaged. The box was not damaged. Sometimes it just happens, unfortunately. I am not a double boxer. And like, even with this, I'm not going to double box. A lot of people are, like Scott was saying, he does it. But this is like the only thing in probably over a year that has broke like that, you know? So for us, the percentage is small enough that I don't want to pay for that extra box every time, because we do a lot of breakables. But yeah, so that one came back, and I can see where it cracked. And it had tons of bubble wrap. And I think sometimes, like, honestly, and I'm going to hold it so it doesn't do that again. Honestly, if she packed them where these two were close to each other, maybe this hit that top. So you want to make sure you've got padding in between. Yours is a single item, but like, we've got 3 pieces here, right? If you could put all around the 3 of them you want, but if they're clanking against each other, that could break too. So be careful if it's multiple pieces. But we just, like, we do small bubble, big bubble, and then paper is what we do with ours. And quite a bit. The more expensive it is, the more bubble wrap you get. All right. It is 10:01 and I am extremely tired. I am going to let all of the guys tell you goodbye and where to find them. Rod can re-announce his special announcement, and then I will tell you what's going on with me. I have to pull it up because I have a list. So here is Scott.
I am on Instagram as ChaChingKing, and I have the ChaChingKing channel, which my main channel is primarily tutorials on eBay and things that I think work. But I have ChaChingKing Picking, which is storage lockers. And when I was in the hospital, I didn't do a locker. The video I'm editing now is the locker that tried to kill me. It's the one that I got sick when I was at. So I'm going to put the video together and try to get that up in the next day or so. But love to have you come visit. All
right, here is Gil.
Hi, so I'm a gem flipper generally across all social media, and on YouTube. I post there every day except Saturday, and Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays are thrifting videos. It's Goodwill videos. Sometimes I go to other thrift stores as well too. I do what sold videos Tuesday and Thursday, and then I have a podcast style video on Sunday. Actually, just moved that to Sunday. So, I think that's about it. I'm just glad to be here.
Rod, I'm making you big since you have your announcement.
Guys, we're giving this free box of, it's a $150 box of football cards for free. Go join Didbit Cards, DIBDIT cards.com. All you have to do is be a member. Once we hit 2,000 members, you guys will draw a winner for free. We're only like 200 away, so please go do that. Also, July 16th, Gary V is coming to Didbit Cards. Me and him are going to be doing a co-stream together, so please be there. Support me for that. I would love to have all you guys there with us. I'm dropping a brand new picking punching video tomorrow. I'll have a podcast with Tim over the years and Kiri, American Arbitrage Cards, for sports cards in the morning, 11 a.m. for No Banger Sports Card Podcast. You can find me tomorrow night at 9 o'clock live on Didbit Cards doing a baseball card break. So if you guys like baseball cards and you guys want to be part of a break, we're auction off teams start $1. You can go bid in your favorite teams right now.
All right. Okay, this is what I have to say. Tomorrow night, I found some really amazing pieces of costume jewelry. The majority of them are signed. There's Coro, there's Monet, there's vintage Sarah Coventry, like true vintage Sarah Coventry, glass, tons of it. $3 starts tomorrow night at 7 p.m. on Whatnot. It is already scheduled. Marsha, please link my Whatnot for everybody, or Mark, if you're still here. And Shannon has pre-scheduled out quite a few shows, so bookmark those. I will tell you guys, I left in $40 and $50 pieces, and they're going to go at $3 starts. There was just so much good stuff. I left it in. Thursday, I believe we are doing clowns. If you are a clown fan, bookmark that one. I am not a clown fan, but if that's your thing, I have tons of clowns. I will have a what sold out tomorrow. Friday, a lot of you have asked me for a new List Perfectly video with their new features. That is what is coming out on Friday. And Sunday, I believe, is going to be a pottery video that is in my queue for emergencies, like no sleep. I only recorded 2 videos today. So watch those. I will try to get a catch treasure hunting out on Thursday. I'm slacking on that one again. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for being here. We wouldn't have the show without you guys. We had over 300 the majority of the night. So we appreciate you. Make sure you guys check out everybody if you are not subscribed to them yet. Scott, thank you for coming on. We're all happy to see you back. Gil, I appreciate you as well. And Rod for coming back over and over for over 2 years. Thank you.
For showing up again.
For showing up. You keep showing up. We appreciate you all, and we will see you next Tuesday. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.